there is one teacher that I definitely connected with more than any other teacher. That is Miss Smothers, Miss Carolyn Smothers. And she still teaches today. It is absolutely amazing, but I've kind of reflected over the years and tried to figure out why she was the teacher for me. And she was a great math teacher. She was a very challenging math teacher. I mean, she made it challenging. It was a tough class, one of my toughest classes. But she just connected with her students. And I think, for me, that was the most important thing. I had a relationship with her. And so because of that relationship, I wanted to do well in her class. I wanted to be engaged. I wanted to learn. I wanted to make her proud. I think education chose me. I think education has been pursuing me throughout my career because, part of what I did as a senior in high school was I had to keep a journal. And every day was required to journal. And I found that journal recently and was reading through it. And of course, as a senior, I wrote, "I will never be a teacher. I will never be a math teacher." And of course, here I stand today as an 8th grade math teacher, which is just funny to me. I was working at a rental car company, and I was renting a car, and a Forsyth County teacher came into the location, and we started having a conversation. We were just connecting, right? And at the time, I had started to see what it might look like to transfer out of the business world and then possibly pursue education. But this Forsyth County teacher began talking to me, and he's like, "Oh man, I've been in Forsyth County schools for 10 years. I love what I do. You should just come check out my classroom. You would love it, And so through this conversation, that happened. And the next thing I knew, I was walking into a middle school in Forsyth County and walking into a classroom full of students. And I envisioned 30 kids sitting in a desk, hands on the desk, teacher at the front, and that is by far not what I got. I walk into this classroom and there are kids everywhere. There's tables, there's stuff out on the desk, the teacher's walking around, and I didn't know, it was amazing to me. It was exciting. They were building parachutes at the time. It was this huge science project, and they were building parachutes. And so the teacher just invited me into his classroom. And the reason he invited me into his classroom is because he loved what he did. And he was proud of being a Forsyth County school teacher. Like, this was his deal. And he said, "Hey, if you're gonna become a teacher, just come see what I do. Because I promise if you see what I do, you're gonna become a teacher." Like, that's it. That's the answer right there. And so, I got to talk to students that day. He was so gracious and so inviting into his classroom. And he said, "This is what my classroom looks like most of the time. It's student-centered. The kids are exploring." And he said, "Yeah, sometimes I got to give some direct instruction, but I want it to be interactive. I want it to be engaging. I want the students to have fun." And I thought, well, if I become a teacher, this is what I want my classroom to look like. And he invited me to come back 3 weeks later to see those rockets launched. And and I went back. And that has always just been a foundational story because, I want Forsyth County to have great teachers. And I want great teachers to be recruited. And I think if they could see how passionate I am about what I do here in Forsyth County and how passionate he was, and there's so many incredible teachers that are here. I've met them during this last year. Man, I don't see how you wouldn't want to become a teacher because it's fun and you're impacting students.